Hello, welcome back to the UKLC. First of all, I want to give a big apology to Beely. I've just found out that he tidied his room in preparation for an interview, which we're not doing because that game was so long. We're getting ready to go into our fourth and final game of the day. This is going to be Bulldog versus Resolve. That last one was a big old stint of a game. Let's be real, probably not going to be the case here.
Yeah. Resolve, they want their 14-0. They're here to allow Bulldog to pay their taxes, either peacefully or in a non-compliant manner. And we'll have to see which one it is, because I think Bulldog, they've had signs of life in recency. They had the 3-0 start, and then they lost a bunch of games, and they won some games in the Super Week, but it was still a negative record overall. We're going to have to actually see whether or not Bulldog can at least, make it an admirable. Therefore, maybe they actually just come out and upset us, because we just had a 50-minute game. Demise won today. I voted against M&M. Crazier things have happened, I suppose.
I just want to call you out, Javada, because you've made the biggest rookie error. You're eating rich tea biscuits right now. I know you're eating them. You can't show them because we're on BBC, I don't think, but you can eat them. And they dry your mouth out. They're as great as they are. I think they're incredibly underrated. They do dry your mouth out. So have fun with that. What's the best biscuit?
Bourbons or
Bourbons
custard cream. Custard cream.
Custard cream are also pretty good.
They're in the same tier.
What about BNs? Do you remember BNs? Don't tell me you don't remember them. Are you? God.
Full name, please. Or
they were just called BNs. They were like there was a BN was the advert, and they had those. They were the face. They're similar to custard creams, and they were like sandwiched, 2 biscuits sandwiched, and you'd have like a jam one. There was
these.
There was like a vanilla one.
What?
And they had the little face on them.
I never had these. Actually.
They were so good.
Have they been discontinued?
They've been discontinued in the UK. I went to pick my girlfriend up from France a few years ago. And she was working out there, and they had them at the supermarket. And I'm not gonna lie, we had to leave some of her luggage back in France when she was coming home because I wanted a lot of BNs. We didn't, but they are top tier. I believe we're getting ready to go into this game, as we are just getting ready. I think the players weren't completely ready to throw into game, but yes, we are starting. So into picks and bans between Resolve and Bulldog. Stop talking about biscuits and start talking about League of Legends.
Yeah, and I'll be curious to know on whether or not Resolve are actually going to change up their drafting patterns. I mean, they're certainly going to have to, because Bulldog have banned away the Hecarim, so there's no first pick there for Soft in particular. Resolve, though, banning out Rel, banning out Aatrox, paying respects to Hachi. Have to see how else Bulldog follow up. They're also going to remove away this Kai'Sa. And I also think maybe for Bulldog, you could actually ban away the Gragas too. I think it's honestly a pretty safe ban. Artorias has had a really strong time of it, and especially with Seraphine being banned away, there's no obligation to ban that. I think Gragas would be a strong final ban, but Udyr is still on the table, so they have to remove that one away. Resolve, they could go for Olivia first. Okay. The strongest available jungler up.
Smurfing it, mate. Smurfing it. You had a rough one last time, getting it this time. There's going to be Hachi getting his hands on to the Gnar. We're going to see what Bulldog look to pick up next. I would love some spice here. That Kiana hover is something that Zion hovers every game, so don't get too carried away with that one.
I wonder why.
I'd like to see some spice. Maybe he wants Kiana jungle to be a thing.
Maybe. Yeah, I would expect just the jungle response great. Yeah.
Wow. Actually killing it, Chief. Absolutely killing it. All right. What's next? Come on.
Camille and ADC.
No. Camille and Galio. That'd be actually an insane rotation right now for Resolve.
Camille and Galio would be good, but then you kind of end up handshaking Bulldog, the Orianna matchup, which technically...
Bow to me!
Okay,
you're probably right.
Shiflin's going to lock in Orianna. Shiflin's going to lock in Orianna now. There's no reason for him not to. So we'll ignore the timer, because that's what he's actually going to lock in. And then we'll talk about what are likely going to be the bans here.
That's nice. That's flexible. You could actually still play that mid, and into Galio, it's actually not awful.
Yeah, so this makes things a little bit awkward for Resolve in terms of what they want to ban, because now they can no longer target focus either the AD carries or mid. They kind of they're left with only banning out supports, which they also still have to lock in as well. So there's no obligation for them to ban out any specific role. They're more or less just going to look to maybe take away tools that would make it awkward for their composition to work. So what would those even be with composition like Resolves? I mean,
you could take away the Alistair, the Leona, and then just kind of take what's left over, maybe?
Maybe. I mean, it's so...
Oh, Nautilus isn't bad.
Yeah, okay, so Nautilus, I suppose, makes sense if Tristana in the bottom side, it sets up for a really heavy kill lane. This Tristana's definitely throwing a bit of a cog, a bit of a spanner in the cogs, the works for Resolve. It does kind of make things a bit strange. So Bulldog, Tristana lock in for this flex. Cog in the spanners. Yeah, I mean, it's that kind of day, realistically. I expect another... Oh, it's Thresh. Okay. So what are they saying up for? I guess Alistar. So now Resolve kind of have to ban Alistar? Or
yeah.
They give it over for free.
But then they do give over Leona.
But then they give over Leona. So maybe they just don't. And then they just take the worst end of the matchup. Instead of having to deal with a suboptimal sort of out there response into the Leona. We'll have to see what they opt for. I mean, they go for the Alistar anyway, so poke Leona, but I
feel like it just the obvious answer is Leona, and then
is there anything we're missing? I don't feel like there is.
Off the top of my head, I don't think so. I mean, supports have just been Alistair, Leona for like ever, and a bit of fresh in there. I feel like what you do is you lock in the Azir, obviously. Okay. I much would have rather I don't like here, and then they could have flexed out Tristana till fifth pick.
Yeah, so the Azir reveals the flex of the Tristana. Now, granted, you don't mind per se, because the amount of AD carries that are actually good into Trist, there's not really many at this point. You could maybe look at Xayah. Samira is not bad, but you don't really have a strong knock-up pairing anymore. So many of them are gone, so what would you then look towards? Maybe something like Rakan?
Oh, the Galio could be support.
Galio could still go support. Oh yeah. We've been bamboozled the whole time. Mate, oh my god.
We smurfed the first half of this Champ Select, let's be real. And then after that, it just crumbled.
Is Chimera really going to give us a Corky game though? No, he's not.
No, he's not. Okay.
I mean, I like so I get that now it's just Leona. No reason to do anything else. I'm just gonna say it. You get Leona into Galio. You've got the ranged engage of the Solar Flare to lock down Chimera or Yusa with pretty much no commitment to an actual follow-up. So I think it just makes the most sense unless they have something as a curveball. We did say in play Janna a few weeks back, but it's actually gonna be the Karma. Okay, well, certainly an interesting one. I'm not gonna frown upon it just yet.
No, frown upon it. Explain why you'd rather the Leona over the Karma right now.
So right now, Bulldog are lacking any kind of initial startup engage, because the thing is, if they have the Leona, then you can very easily, pick off one target with the Solar Flare and then have the follow-up be there from the likes of the Gnar or a shift in from the Azir and an Emperor Divide. But now they're kind of only working with backwards moving, which is fine, because for the most part, Resolve's composition is relatively locked into doing that. When you've got the Samira, the Galio, and the Camille, your composition is primarily a forward moving one. That being said, it's always nice to have the option for re-engage, which isn't necessarily present with the Karma, but the Karma obviously provides the global utility of moving everyone faster forward anyway. So it's pros and cons. Poke coming into the split when I was doing preparation for them, kind of always was on a lot of these majors, these enchanters in solo queue. A very high rated player in solo queue from season 10 actually. So and was playing things like Karma, Janna, Lulu, etc. So very comfortable on the champion. Obviously he wouldn't have picked it without that being the case. But yeah, obviously pros and cons to the owner of comp pick. One thing it definitely will give, or should give, is bottom lane priority.
Yeah. That would be the expected outcome. I do worry though, because if the Galio gets on both Tristana and the Karma, that's when it gets scary. Where if you both get taunted, you're both going to get heavily trunked. If you capture Tristana, the Karma slaps the shields up, puts the tethers down, and makes sure that Tristana has the room to breathe. There is a cleanse on this Tristana though, so VUC has at least something to deal with some of the CC coming in. at least in the earlier stages. But with them down, that could be problematic. I have to see how this is going to go, to be honest. Could honestly go either way, looking at the comps. But looking at the teams, I think with Resolve, and I do like Resolve's comp a little bit more personally as well. I don't know. Apparently, I'm making sentences up as I go along, if I'm going to be honest, Javada.
No,
I was like, this could go either way, but Resolve are going to win. Like, I don't know what's wrong with my head right now. That last game took it out of me.
Look. 1, same. 2, I hope Resolve don't revert to week 1 through 3 Resolve, where they take 10 years to close out a game. Because after that one, I don't know if I've got it in me anymore, man.
True.
I don't know. As we're out.
Tourist has gone for the ignite as well, not the flash lane. So
yeah,
that's the I'm gonna fight you.
Yeah. So I don't think maybe I'm just getting a wrong read on it, but I normally feel like Camille's will still take flash into Gnar. Typically, when you see the ignite, is to alleviate lane pressure, all-in pressure from your opponent when you have some of the harder matchups. Gnar, to my knowledge, isn't usually one of those matchups, but if it's such a winning matchup in the laning phase anyway, why not run Ignite? Could look at it like that. So we'll have to see whether he finds a solo kill with the additional all-in threat of the summoner spell. We're gonna see that ward. That's a lot of things. Let's do a singular ward, guys. Let's chill out. So they're gonna know that somebody placed the ward to cover that entrance. Soft, not gonna be going for any kind of late invade. There will be no shenanigans with that, as they're looking for vision, it looks like, just to double check. Yeah. They've got that ward on the Raptor camp. Zion's going to be starting solo on his red buff, whereas Soft is going to have the assistance of his bottom lane. So with that being the case, you would imagine that Bulldog should secure lane priority in waves 1 to 3. And with Zion pathing down towards the bottom side, most likely anyway, that should already kind of just spell that scuttle grab for Bulldog jungler on the bottom side, as Artorias gets a real nice trade.
Bot lane's going to get shoved in pretty heavily. Yep. Kind of expected, like you said. Let's track the action for the moment. Soft's actually looking to come into mid lane already.
Okay, no.
That is really bad with the red buff and the burn from Lilia. Chicklin is just straight up completely screwed from that.
Yeah, and so what this actually was, and it's very clever. You see some Korean junglers in particular do it, where they will just run red Raptors, or in some cases red, straight to the enemy Raptors, because you're Lilia. Like, who's gonna contest you on Raptors outside of a very few select junglers, like perhaps maybe Kane, who actually has been pretty absent today, considering his pretty strong rise in presence in a lot of the major leagues. But yeah, you can just run Raptor to Raptor camp, and in most cases, junglers just can't contest you on, especially if you have lane priority, which in Soft's case, he was trying to force. And Chicklin, level 2.
He got the wave, though.
Yeah. But Chicklin ate most of the damage on the pass-through. I don't think Soft actually intended to gank Chicklin, per se. As this is already going to be one plate, 3 minutes into the game going down. Bad news bears.
That's what Tristana does best.
Yeah.
However, on the other side, top lane is in a very different state. Hachi's getting tower dove here. They are looking for the hook shot. He's able to jump away. He's about to gnar out, but that is first blood for Soft. Easy as. Meanwhile, looking to continue the trading here. The taunts come out. The cleanse is there. Fast legs getting jumped onto. Bladewell actually, I believe, stopped the Q from Poke, and now Zion looking to try and find a counter gank on the other side of the map. They do have the teleport available to Artorias. He's holding it for the moment in case they get dove. Same for Chimera. This could get really hairy if Bulldog tried to dive here.
Yeah, they've committed for a little bit too long. There's too much lane priority from Chimera. Even though Chimera's low on mana in the immediate future, he's got 2 biscuits in his inventory. So if he had to skirmish, he would have been fine. And honestly, Zion kind of did Soft a bit of a favor there, because he actually killed the Krug camp. So it's going to just cycle up to the next level. The XP debuff is no longer going to be there. That being said, Soft did do the exact same thing on the other side, but it was off the back of a far more successful gank. So snowballing the XP for Soft. little more favorable as... Oh. Very cute from Bayusi. Rocket jumping forward to make sure he secures the second plate. 4.5 minutes into this game of the bottom side tower.
This is what Tristana does. She destroys towers very effectively.
Resolve are going to have to do something about this bottom side bleeding out so heavily because it's not going to get better until the lanes can be reset. And even if the lanes do reset, I don't know if it gets better anyway. So I'll have to see. Zion's making a return to the bottom side. Fast leg. Nice attempt, but nothing to be found. And going to be forced to reset on a wave which isn't even a cannon. So Poke, don't interrupt. Don't interrupt them. Let them reset. Yeah. There you go. Ooh, fast leg stay. So the reason I say don't interrupt there is because you can just let them reset. And if you want the option of taking another plate or a free reset yourselves, you can. If Zion was here for the dragon, then that also becomes a thing where you know you're going to have numbers advantage. So had he kept them there, it would have been a slightly different case. Do that. But you can see the CS difference in the bottom side is monstrous. It's double CS for VUC in this matchup. Not really much for Yusa and Fastleg to do about it. And that's why I said I didn't want to frown upon the karma pick too quickly. As you will certainly secure lane priority, and especially when Soft starts on the red buff and Yusa and Fastleg feel obligated to give their jungler a leash, you end up with a lane state like that.
Well, they finally do get the resets off, but it's Noon Quiver Dagger to double longsword for Yusa. He is incredibly far behind the UC right now, and they're going to need some help from their jungle to really turn this lane around. Looks like Soft in the area will get spotted out if he leaves this Tribush and tries to gank from the river.
I don't think they know about this dragon going on. They might have an inkling now that Poke walks past.
Well, the UC may found himself found out, able to jump away. Zion's very low. The Cloud Drake does do a lot of damage, and this may just be a leash on the dragon, to be real.
Seems like that's gonna just be the case.
That is impressive by Resolve to have their bot lane that far behind and that pressured in. Meanwhile, Chorus has actually jumped onto Shiklin here. May just find the kill. Gets shuffled underneath the tower. The tactical sweeps are there, and Chimera secures the kill with the ulti.
Yeah, very nice rotation down from Artorias. I don't even think he missed anything from the top side for that either, so it was just a perfect roam timing coming out from the Resolve top laner. Bulldog paying their first bit of the Resolve tactic, first dragon tax. Say thank you very much. See, Bulldog worked hard for the dragon, but unfortunately, Resolve are dead. And I mean, I suppose the caveat or the silver lining is that Bulldog didn't actually lose any members actively off of the dragon play. They obviously lost Shiklin in the mid lane to a good roam. But they've not fallen crazy far behind, and a lot of this gold lead at the top of our screens is being alleviated by the bottom side CS deficit, which was actually caught up on quite handily by Yusa. He was down about 25 CS not too long ago, only now sitting at about 18 as the wave is being caught on the top side. And we're going to see both teams rotate up towards the top side for this arrow.
Yeah, typically, actually, when we see this, we normally see the AD carry stay in the bot lane a lot of the time, and they just rotate the support up. But both these teams obviously looking to fight.
Honestly, it feels like a UKLC thing. Even in the NLC, I don't recall many teams actually.
Very few do it.
Yeah, very, very few do it. Whereas in the UKLC, it seems like it's just the meta. Very much stuck in 2020 in that sense. But like you say, it does mean they're most likely looking for a fight. As let's see if Soft hands over that move buff. I don't think he will. They're actually looking more for this fight.
Oh, triple sleep! That's a free man into the Lilting Lullaby, into the taunt! They're getting so much damage done! They do pop him away though, the UC burning down.
Ooh.
And it just looks like the rest of Resolve weren't quite in place. That could have been an absolute whitewash otherwise.
But the thing is, it's two flashes and a cleanse and a heal. So you're very happy to take that trade. I suppose also fast like commit the ignite, but it's no long cooldown like the flash or the heal or the cleanse. Very nice step forward from Soft, recognizing, hey, this is kind of illegal. I've got my follow-up right next to me. Takes advantage, finds the 3 people with the sleep. Unfortunately, the taunt doesn't connect onto all 3 members. They don't find lethal onto anybody, but the pressure is enough to secure them this Rift Herald. And again, despite Bulldog being the ones in position for the Herald first, or the neutral objective first, they kind of hand it over as... Oh, Artorias is got Ignite, by the way.
It's the damage check right now, and Artorias gets the solo kill in the bot lane.
Yeah, and that's just the amount of pressure you can have just by having the Ignite Summoner spell. Like we said, Ignite, typically you take it in some of the harder matchups. Nara is not necessarily considered one of the harder matchups at the moment. I might be working with old data. Of course, Nar's been shadow buffed so many times in the Mega Gnar form. But Ignite, not often I feel taken as, oh, that's a lot of tower shots to take from the user. But yeah, Ignite just pushing him over the lethal edge as Chimera finding himself on the poor end of this mid lane trade. Both these mid laners been relatively quiet, all things considered. Almost equal in CS.
Yeah, just that one kill with Chimera got onto Shiklin off the back of a good gank from the rest of his team. Gold lead, though, heavily in favor of Resolve right now. 10 minutes in. It's just under that 3K mark. And Yus has been able to pull himself back for what was a really, really rough start to this game. Finally, slowly getting back into the game, but is down pretty heavily in the CSF set even so, but the items are slowly but surely coming through. I do think Vyusi may actually have his Kraken Slayer or his Gale Force on the back of this base.
Yeah, I could imagine he may. He's gone so many tower plates worth of gold that he should just be resetting for that mythic right now.
There's the Kraken Slayer.
Poke is very close to that Moonstone, so what's the nerf Moonstone numbers? I actually forget. I'm so like in so many minds because all of the major regions are on 11.4 now, and then obviously UKLC is still playing out its final weeks on the previous patch of 11.3, whilst also taking into consideration that the 11.5 changes are probably coming out pretty soon as well. So my mind is in about 3 different patches at the same time. Do beg your pardon there. I think Bulldog are going to look for this startup on the Dragon, but Resolve don't mind if they can trade it for a full tower and it goes into Artorias.
Actually may just go down here. The Lilting Lullaby has been used, able to cancel the jump, gets the Swirl Seed. Eep, watch out. Actually flashes away.
Yeah.
And this could just be the Herald getting thrown down in the top lane, get themselves first turret blood here.
They might
Pumping that gold into the Camille is really, really worrying if you're on the side of Bulldog.
Yeah, and again, much like last game, there isn't really going to be much an answer to the side laner that is Artorias when he's this accelerated. This becomes very obnoxious as Poke lands a little bit of Poke to Chimera. And Chimera's going to have to pay his respects. He is fully on weak side right now. He's about to get 4-manned.
Yeah, I think he might just be going down here. Has got that flash. Has got the Chaos Storm, but with multiple members about. The Galio could join. Look at the way the fast leg is lingering about, waiting for the opportunity to jump in. Chimera actually pops the R to clear the wave, as it is a cannon wave, wants to make sure it goes down, and Chimera actually does a good job of playing weak side there. They got the second charge out onto that top lane tower as well, so that got pretty heavily chunked, and a lot of strength injected. Artorias now has the Triforce finished up.
Oh wow. I also think Soft
And a Tiamat.
Yeah. I also think Soft took the entirety of the topside jungle on the way out. I'm not too sure. I wasn't paying full attention on whether or not Zion also did the same on the bottom side. But obviously now the late trade is going to be some more plates into Vyusi. And Soft actually has gone for Moonstone, which is very uncharacteristic of this player. Typically,
recognizing this is Soft and Yusa show.
Yeah, this is
no,
the
sorry,
Artorias
and Yusa show.
Yeah. So, some development there from him. I'm obviously poking a little bit of fun. My former player, but still very much comfortable. Zion should be approaching his mythic. I imagine Gale Force gonna be... Yeah, he's got... That's enough gold to finish up finish up the Gale Force. Or he actually has fleet footwork, so it could be the Bloodthirster and the Imperial, not the Imperial, the Immortal Shieldbow build.
I think with the fact he's got a longsword, it must be Shieldbow.
Yeah, you're right.
Yep.
Actually. Yeah, there you go. So I really like this build actually. I kind of prefer it over Gale Force in a lot more situations than just this. And especially when Bulldog should be playing a slightly more reactive style of play. I think going for the shield bow is good. All of the additional lifesteal, and of course the even more amped steal if you end up popping a passive, which becomes so obnoxious, especially if he's got bloodline in his runes, fleet footwork. It all starts to add up. And if he does spec into that Bloodthirster second, then it does get very obnoxious. Even if you have grievous wounds, that much lifesteal is very hard to deal with. As Yusa, a little aggressive there.
Does have the shield bow, so
yeah,
able to sustain back up pretty comfortably and just testing the damage, seeing what we got to work with so far. As game's definitely taken a bit of a slowdown on the pace.
Yeah.
Resolve not willing to risk too much. The Rift Herald is spawning up and they are leaning towards this side of the map.
Not gonna lie, Hipbrain, that worries me.
Don't worry, I trust Resolve to know how to close the game out.
So do I, but I just, lingering thoughts.
Although I do believe at the beginning of the season they played a typically more slow game, actually.
That's what I'm worried about, And especially they'll be looking to secure their perfect record of 14-0, so they may be a little more reserved in some of their judgments and decision making. Let's see. Soft, Lily are relatively fast at taking the Herald, but definitely not one of the quicker ones when she's by herself. The max HP burn definitely does help out though. Herald, back pocket of Resolve. No real trade to be had for Bulldog, and they don't really have to do much. I feel like Bulldog are going to sort of rely on Resolve potentially not pulling the trigger too much and praying that their composition is good enough to kite out any engage we could see come forward from Resolve. And we had the gold graph on our screen, relatively the same state as we had about 10 minutes ago in gold. So see if this third dragon changes anything, because both teams look like they actually want to contest it. Poke, almost some illegal positioning there, but
this is definitely the most impactful soul we've had of the day as well. It's been mountains and clouds.
And a cloud.
We're finally getting a soul, which actually means something for the late game. They show a bit more confidence into whatever team can get their hands on it. But for now, Herald's going to get summoned, and this will be the mid lane tier 1 crumbling. Soul, Dragon's up, and Resolve, they're the ones with the inside track. They're the ones with the pressure to do so. Zatorius, he's off in the top lane, got the teleport available to join the team on a snap as the bot lane turret will fall down.
Well, tower just dies. No one really there. Resolve, Dragon for them, they're happy. And Bulldog, if the game kind of stays on this trend, may end up being on a tower. Could you imagine if Graves just teleported down to the bottom side of the map and just said nothing personal?
Teleports behind you.
Dragon. Teleports behind you.
This is very personal. We got oh no, it's way too far. Throws up that stick ultimatum. He's doing a lot of damage to Shiklin. But Shiklin is able to live.
Artorias, he queued the tower. He used the true damage part.
Get me out. What a tragedy. No, even the replay guy didn't want to see that again.
Do you know what?
Even he went, nah, you know what? Do you not want to do that?
I think that the replay, our replay person. No!
Here it comes.
Okay, so Shiklin steps way too far forward here, but he sidesteps, and then at this point, he should just walk away. He gives Artorias the opportunity to pop his passive and cast the Hex Tech Ultimatum, and he...
Bad. Bad, Artorias.
Now, I'm going to refer to a particular apparatus in which you use to...
Don't. Let's go back to the game. I bet you never seen me do that. Normally, I'm the one derailing this whole show. And I'll continue to do so. Artorias, that tower is so low. Maybe this time, if you land your abilities in the right order, you might actually kill him.
Yeah. Oh, it
happened again! Oh no, Shiklin finally goes down. Artorias, this time, cues the right target. His health bar is low. He's going to have to try and sustain up, but the UC's coming in. Hachi's got Mega Gnar, and Artorias may just get slammed back. No, the sleep is so big. Fast Legs just as punch to safety. And oh my lord, they've only gone and done it. They're rowdy.
Oh, it's daylight robbery.
It's a comedy of errors. That's what it is.
Oh my goodness. Someone get the Met on the line, man. Bulldog are not having a great game, unfortunately.
I would argue Resolve aren't having a massively great. Like,
well, when I say great game, sorry. When I say great, what I mean is they're not having a very fortunate game, and it's actually got not much to do with them.
And I actually think a lot of the stuff, like Resolve, while they're 4-0 right now, they're not having, you know, a completely one-sided affair. It's still them in control. They're up the gold lead right now. We're only 21 minutes in. They could be happy with this game state. For the team that are first in the group, for a team that are looking to go undefeated, this is incredibly passive. And I assume part of that is down to the fact that they don't want to throw their lead, but
that's fine.
Sorry, I don't want to throw any, you know, the perfect split. But realistically, this is a team who played so well. I say this, the tempo starts to get put up. The Lilting Lullaby is being used, and Zion able to get away to safety. The teleport thrown out by Artorias as well. Resolve just going to walk away for now.
Oh, what do you have for breakfast today, Jake?
I had Crunchy Nut.
Crunchy Nut?
Crunchy Nut, oh.
You know, I wish I could eat Crunchy Nut. I feel like it probably tastes
Are you allergic?
Yeah, I'm allergic to nuts. Yeah, kind of sucks. Funnily enough, I actually know that some nuts taste great because I've accidentally eaten stuff.
I assume you're not definitely allergic to them then.
So no, when I was a child, I was definitely allergic, but apparently adult me is totally fine. Well, not totally fine, but
you every 7 years your like allergies can shift. You can gain new allergies. You can lose allergies. Your allergies can become less impactful, more impactful. So it's something you got to be careful of.
Any reason why it's 7 years?
I think your every 7 years, like over a 7-year period, your internal biology changes enough that things like that can be affected. You'd have to have Excoundrel or Medic on the show because they're actual doctors.
Yeah, true.
I just know this because, as some people who've probably been on the scene for a while, I used to have multicolored hair. Not multicolored hair. I had silver hair. It was one color. It was just different from what it is now. But I remember because I used to dye my hair a lot. I never actually did any like outlandish colors. I never went like brown or black and stuff.
Yeah, you went like other natural colors bar the silver. Yeah,
I apart from the silver, which is technically natural. My family all have silver hair naturally.
Oh, really?
I was just speeding up the timeline. Let's be real. But yeah, you have to have a patch test to see if you're allergic to hair dye every few years to make sure that you don't die from dyeing your hair. Excuse the pun. I'm being tempted to go back to the silver hair. It's just such a pig to keep. I know I'm complaining to a guy with an afro about managing hair.
Complaining to a guy with an afro about
what
hair
I'm doing,
maintenance.
Silver hair is very porous, which means it holds water and it absorbs water like an absolute madman, and it holds it. I used to have to dry my hair for like half an hour when I had silver hair. It just did not come out.
Same.
And as soon as I stopped dyeing my hair and I cut my hair short and I went back to normal hair, oh, it was so nice how quickly my hair dried.
Oh, yeah. That's one thing I do dislike about having long hair. As much as I love my afro, if ever I do wash it or rinse it, man, it takes an eternity to dry.
Yeah, I bet. I wash my hair every day. I know you're not meant to do that, but
yeah, it's bad if you like use all of the whole.
Gets all the oils out.
Yeah, you have to let the oil sit in a little bit sometimes.
But yeah, I wash my hair every day, so drying my hair every day was a real nightmare when I had silver hair.
Not too surprised.
Yeah, not too surprised. What were we talking about? Allergies? Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So the reason I know why certain nuts taste great is
you're an idiot.
Yeah. So I don't know, I was maybe 15, 16. I was real hungry, man. We got Chinese. My mom ordered chicken satay.
Oh, the chicken satay peanut sauce is the best thing ever.
Do you know how sad it is that I know that it tastes great?
Well, that is actually so tragic.
I can't eat it, man.
It's like me. I have IBS. I used to drink a lot of Coca-Cola, and I can't drink that much Coca-Cola anymore.
Oh, that's kind of sad. Yeah, it's like our friend on camera actually has some. Well, actually, I'm not going to explain. Chimera is also allergic to something. He's not.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, he is.
But he's Scottish, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
To sunlight. Okay.
Oh, that's hilarious.
He's gonna beat me up when he sees this. He's so much bigger than me.
Actually, hey, you know what? He's put on a little bit of weight, man. He's not so bulky anymore right now.
I'm sure, but have you seen me? Doesn't matter. I'm like the salami guy.
True. All right. I know we've been kind of derailed for a while, but if you look at your screen, I think you may understand why.
That sums up. Back to randomness.
Go
on. Go make your smart point before I take us off course again.
So this is technically fine for
There he goes, Yusa. Body blocks a bit of that and actually jumps to safety. It's over, don't worry. Although they are looking for a little something more. Not going to find it, though. Dragon spawning up in a minute 55. And you can carry on with your point.
I've actually lost it now. Oh, right. This is like okay for resolve. It's not... Oh, sleep. Hello.
Okay, that's the splash in it. That's the lilting lullaby. There's the cleanse. And back to your point.
Maybe not. Maybe
Notorious. He ain't done here. They're going to get the shuffle back. And Notorious bopped out of his Hextech ultimatum. Hachi in the middle of everyone.
Hachi!
It's Nard out. Gets the two-man Nard back. But Notorious able to hook shot over the walls of safety. Honey Fruit to heal up. Resolve find their pick.
Yeah, they find the pick. Took a while, but the thing is, it's off timing with the dragon, so they're not going to be able to get that. They don't really feel like they're comfortable enough to actually go and secure the Baron, or perhaps make a flip. As look at Fastlegged, he's on the flank.
Yeah, they're going to go
the
court. Two members caught. The Justice punches on. Zayan going low, and he will be taken out by Yusa.
Oh, man. Mayusi could have died there as well. Fortunately, he had the flash for himself. Very nice re-engage from Fastlegged there. Follow-up also Stiller from the rest of the Resolve team, and I imagine this is just going to be a reset. It's going to be a reset.
You know, speaking of allergies, my friend's fiance is deathly, and I mean deathly allergic to blue cheese.
Really?
Yeah, like... I mean, we can watch the replay and then I'll carry my story on.
So the cleanse is great. Obviously, just entirely dissuades the engage, but then they just return too quickly to the mid lane. They disrespect the hook shot. The combination of Fastlegged and Artorias is a little bit out of sync, and Hachi finds an okay-ish Gnar, but the hook shot is there for Artorias, and he doesn't actually find the stun onto Yusa, so he basically just sacrifices his life for nothing. Flash forward from Fastlegged resulted in an engage. We could see another one here. Hachi's in Mega. This is the only time Bulldog are actually going to be able to fight.
Yeah, and they're inside that pick, but the hook shot goes over the wall. Soft just watches. He buys the time, and Notorious blows everyone up. But that Gnar from Hachi was absolutely disgusting. Meanwhile, though, Yusa just free firing away. Got the Inferno trigger, gets the sleep. Eep, watch out. Here comes Resolve.
That's it. That's going to be Resolve picking up the Soul, picking up the Baron, picking up whatever the hell they really want to. The game firmly now, finally in their control. It only took 29 minutes for them to ace their opponents here. But unfortunately for Bulldog, that is most likely lights out for them in this game. Very unfortunate circumstance, but not really been able to find those pitch-perfect fights, those disengages into re-engages onto Resolve when they do move forward. You can see hands fully in the cookie jar. They get the mid tier 2 tower, they get the Ocean Dragon, even get the Baron.
Perfect. They got the whole damn face in the cookie jar at this point.
Yeah. The head might get stuck.
It's like Winnie the Pooh and the honey.
Yeah. Well,
let's have a look at that action again.
Yeah, let's get a replay. And starts off with Bulldog trying to contest in the river, and they find Soft and Artorias in the Dragon Pit. But Artorias, he dashes over the wall, he dodges the Emperor's Divide with the Hextech Ultimatum, and the Gnar from Hachi is huge, but there's just no more follow-up damage. It's not like there's an Emperor's Divide there to follow up. There's no Azir soldiers to DPS the stunned up members. Vyusi's not in a position to auto-attack anybody down, any of the key members of Resolve. So, yes, the Gnar looks nice, but the gold difference, the lack of follow-up damage just means that it's all for naught. They get aced. Only lose Fast Leg on the back end. And there you can finally see, after what felt like an eternity, the gold difference actually does widen up a little bit. And finally, Resolve might actually look to be a little more aggressive.
So the gold lead opened up a little bit. It's almost 10k. It's 9k at the moment.
But the thing is, it was stuck at 4,000 to 5,000 gold for so long.
Hachi, you're in for a whole world of hurt.
Yeah. And I mean, they could have been doing this.
They need to start to crack open the base.
Yeah, they should be able to start cracking open the base here with that pick. I mean, they could have been doing this from 5-8 minutes ago, realistically, but they just took their time, and that's fine. Put them in a position where they know they realistically can't lose without, well, I don't know what kind of comparison I can make for this. As a bottom lane inhibitor drops, they're just going to rotate over, most likely to the mid lane. They don't really have to do much more. You can see them pinging the waves. They know where the waves are. They have top wave slow pushing in. They can just take this one step at a time. They have a whole wave stacking on the top side, which Chimera is going to go and attend to. This is looking pretty damn done for Bulldogs, bar some kind of miracle 5-man wombo combo ultimate of grand proportions, which I just can't see happening realistically. Mid-tier inhibitor is gone. Not going to push for the inhibitor itself yet, but could just see a rotation come out to the top side. The wave is already being cleared out, so we'll have to see. They're already poking and prodding. Yeah.
Sundisk is not available as well.
Yeah.
This might just be the death of Bulldog in this game. Resolve. We slowed down for a little bit. Let us talk about food and get hungry. And now it looks like this is going to be the close. They're going to take this final inhibitor here in the top side. Bulldog are going to have to find one hell of an engage to pull this back.
Oh!
As there's the shuffle back by Shiklin. That might be that. Oh, no, don't worry. Soft gets the kill. Chimera uses the stopwatch. The heroic entrance is going to land the knock-off onto Hachi and force the heal out from Karma, but everyone's going to sleep, and the Gnar back, and in cut slides Artorias looking for the kill. Hextech ultimatum onto Poke, and Poke loses his life. The taunt to follow as well as Zion. Justice punch down. Only 2 members of Bulldog survive.
Look at the Ocean Soul.
The Ocean Soul, yeah, it's just too big. It's just too much. 15 kills to 2, 33 minutes on the clock. Resolve continue their streak of being undefeated here in the UKLC. 13-0.
13-0, 1 game away from that clean sweep. And actually 2 kills and a tower away from a perfect game. Bulldog were pretty much shut out from the beginning there. No real in for them, and just kind of the way the league seems to be going. You roll into Resolve, it's time to pay the tax. They unfortunately had to here. No one realistically expected them to pick up the win, but yeah, still to get manhandled in this, it's not great, especially when you now have to go into London tomorrow, who are of course the 2nd place team locked in. It doesn't feel great, especially when honestly they're in a position where they could end up in relegations, I think, if Envision actually pull a win out tomorrow. So it's not ideal to lose, but of course you've got the 1st place, and now you've got to play the 2nd place team tomorrow.
Honestly, really, really big stuff there for Resolve, continuing their streak of being bloody good at League of Legends. Let's be real. After the break, we are going to talk a little bit more about that game and today's action. But before that, it's time to go watch some adverts. We'll be back in a minute.
Let the sparks fly into a summer night. We're going eye to eye, running to the future blind. Running to the future blind. Nothing really matters. My midnight sun, taking out the darkness, and it's only just begun. And it's only just begun. Tell me all your dreams and put them on your sleeve. We're going eye to eye, running to the future blind. Let the sparks fly into a summer night. We're going eye to eye, running to the future blind. Nothing really matters. My midnight sun, taking out the darkness, and it's only just begun. And it's only just begun. Running to the future blind.
I know that it's time to make a start. We can't stay where we are, my love. This is our one chance to chase the sun. We've got to cut and run, my love. For all the reasons we work so hard, for the life that we deserve. I know that we'll be on golden sands, seeing far across the world. I know that it's time to make a start.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the UKLC. Surprise, surprise, we have a member of Resolve for an interview. And surprise, surprise, it's Yusa once again. How's it going, mate? You all right?
I'm good. Thanks, guys.
I want to say, how's it feel after the win? But it was definitely a slower game from you guys. Was there a reason why that game kind of slowed down in pace?
I mean, they had a range support bot, and we were like, we have Camille, right? And Sam was like, oh, if I'm ahead, the game's over. So we're like, okay, gang top, we'll just play back for now and bot lane. And in my head, I was like, okay, this Tristan's taking tower and she's getting CS, but I have to like keep it in myself mentally that we're winning the game from top. So I just chilled and we won the game. So happens.
Weak side user, putting his own self pride aside. I respect it. Okay, all right. Serious question out of the way. What are you guys playing tomorrow? Anything spicy? Come on, give us some insight. You gonna try to round out the 14-0 split with anything crazy, or are you just gonna?
That's arena, man. Whip it out.
We're just gonna get the same boring stuff. Like,
I mean, I can't promise anything.
I can't.
But would very much like to end the split undefeated. That's all I can say.
All right. Well, that's all the answer I need. Hit print.
That's, yeah, literally all the answer we need. I mean, to be fair, you're playing Demise tomorrow. They won their game today. Did you watch that? Have you watched that game yet? What do you think of Demise in their current form?
I didn't watch that game, but I saw Pillar do a nice 2v1, well, 1v1, 1v1 play, which was really cool. I think right now they're playing with no fear, and with no fear, you are allowed to like push your limits and basically play better than you think you can play. So they'll probably go in tomorrow with no fear and try and outmatch expectations, but we should play our game and we should win.
Yeah, I mean, you guys are you're on track to go undefeated. You're obviously locked into first in the group, so you'll be playing the 4th seed. So there's a couple of teams. London have now, as of their win the game before, locked playoffs. Who do you think are the final 2 teams that will make it into the playoffs?
I haven't had an updated look at the table as of now. I was more focused on our game.
Yeah, that's fair. You've got M&M, you've got Barrage, you've got Enclave.
Bulldog realistically.
Bulldog technically is still in the running, but
yeah, I think it's gonna be Enclave and potentially M&M if everything goes their way tomorrow.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I think, who are they playing tomorrow?
Envision.
Oh, they're playing Envision. Okay, so they're actually in for a pretty explosive game. Well, you sir, honestly, thank you very much for joining us. There's not really much analysis we can give. You guys are just not losing. So can you start losing so we can talk about something new?
No,
At least
cannot.
one game in play.
I can't promise that either.
No, good luck with your games, mate. Hopefully you don't lose. It'd be really good to have a team that didn't drop a single game at all going into Telia for us. So good luck with that, and we'll speak to you soon, all right?
Cheers, guys.
Oh, what a day, Jamada. What a day. We've had one-sided games. We've had a very, very sluggish game 3, which I think might have been the longest game of the split. So let's go back into the past and have a little look down all of our favorite stuff from this day of esports, e-gaming.
You know what's actually funny is that I think that the team that held the record, or the teams that held the record for the longest game, one of them was probably London. I think the London Demise game from the round 1 robin would have held the record before that. But yeah, M&M Barrage, pretty explosive back and forth-ish game, but it was M&M who eventually just took full control of it. And this was pretty fun to finally see Pillar be a little more unlocked. This game, still made a couple of errors here and there. That side lane pick, the one that definitely springs to mind, but honestly played a stellar laning phase into side lane game where he was practically 2 levels up on everybody. No one could really do much about the Irelia. Potentially a positive for them moving into the relegation series, as this game definitely, I don't want to think about it, but nearly drove us to the edge of insanity.
We went well over, mate. Let's be real.
Yeah, and London, honestly, challenged really hard by Enclave. It was a very hard-fought victory. It was a very slow-paced game. I think London perhaps maybe not necessarily too comfortable with the full 1-3-1 split push style of play, where they had to commit numbers eventually onto a side lane, both their solo laners to one side to actually blow up whoever was defending that tower. And of course, we just had this game on our screens, and Bulldog, as expected, unfortunately, had to pay the tax that Resolve seem to be handing everybody these days. So no real shame in it, of course, just puts them in potential dangers of maybe even falling down towards that relegation spot, but definitely, of course, missing out on playoffs especially if they lose tomorrow into London, which again, reasonable, but it's not impossible for them to actually take a win from them.
Well, tomorrow is the danger zone for a fair few teams. So let's look at the standings as they stand right now and see where our teams currently are in the UKLC. At the top of the tables is Resolve, 13-0. London locked in to playoffs 9-4. Barrage, Enclave, M&M all tied up with a chance of making it into playoffs as well. And Bulldog still in with a chance of making it to playoffs. Then it is going to be Envision and Demise below them. Demise are locked into the relegations, but there is a chance that they could potentially make it to 7th, which means they get to choose which UKEL team they will get to play to hold on to their spot. Speaking of tomorrow, let's have a look at the games coming up here on the UKLC, not NLC. It's on the NLC LOL channel. But it's going to be M&M versus Envision to start the day off. Barrage versus Enclave. Demise versus Resolve. And we're rounding the day out with Bulldog versus London.
Jake?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Demise are going to be picking the team they play versus.
You did him dirty, man. You did him real dirty there.
Yeah, so, you know, a lot of exciting games. You especially look at the Enclave Barrage game, I think, is the one that stands out by far the most. Of course, both of those teams tied with each other in the standings, so only one of them will walk away with a win on the path to actually making playoffs. Of course, Enclave and Barrage both lost today, so winning tomorrow, all the more important. For M&M versus a slightly weaker looking Envision, I think it's now a little more plausible for them to actually pick up this win. Granted, they obviously have been looking pretty poor bar today's performance, but I think it's not much to ask from them playing like how they're playing today to beat a pretty confused looking Envision. And running out the day, London Bulldog just trying to keep their hopes of not getting relegated and any chance of a potential playoff spot. Most likely unlikely, but, you know, here's the hoping for them.
Hey, hold on. Don't worry. Dry your eyes. There's more League of Legends to come. It's over today. We can go to bed. And when we wake up tomorrow, there's more UKLC. Day number 2 will be coming. Same time, same place here on twitch.tv/NLC LOL or BBC Sport or BBC iPlayer. Plenty of places to get involved in all of the action for the UK League of Legends scene. And there's a very, very high chance we're going to have tiebreakers. So we had 2 3-day weeks last week and the week before. We're going to probably have a tiebreakers on Tuesday, all broadcasted on these channels here. And then the UKLC tiebreakers will be following up on Wednesday to Thursday. So there's so much League of Legends to dig your teeth into. Obviously, playoffs coming on Sunday, Monday, I want to say.
Monday,
not Saturday, Sunday, like I originally thought. So this week is just jam-packed with League of Legends action. But for now, today is over. And we're going to throw it away for there because I am breaking down and forgetting how to do my throws. So bye-bye. We'll see you tomorrow for more League of Legends.